Hello, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Today there's only 3 non-Palico quests left until it unlocks a bunch more all of a sudden. Though there's probably more that unlock through the hub, but that doesn't count yet. There's not much left till I can at least say that I've done almost all of the village. I still haven't done the harvest tours because they're such a waste of time, but I'll probably do them when I'm done with every other quest and then just spend some time clicking through them. But 3 quests left. Deviljho, 2 berry-offs, and this thing. I think I'll start with these 2, and I probably won't get to the 3rd today because there won't be time. I don't know, I aim 40 to 60 minutes, sometimes going way over, but I didn't even check where I was. A ridge, that's cold. Wait, a ridge? Yeah, that's Arctic Ridge for sure. And if it isn't, then I have no idea. Because the berry off? Yeah, Arctic Ridge, good. So it is cold. Double berry off quest was also in the same area, but during the day? I don't know. I might not need to paintball this, but it's probably best to paintball. Yeah. I think I'll be content with finishing the village quests. Even if I don't get to all the hub quests, even if I'll miss, like, Najarala? I'm terrible. No, Najarala is a snake. You... There. Finally. It dodged so many paintballs that were poorly aimed. But I won't get to Nakarkos, necessarily. But that's because I'm slow. But I mean, it's possible that I'll get to Nakarkos if I basically at this point decide to just focus on key quests until I finish high rank and then in the village, maybe. Accepting that at this point I probably won't get anywhere near all the quests done before I take however long of a break. At which point I might never come back to this game. Oh, my throat. What was that movement? Like, step back and sideways, which is not how most monsters seem to move. It's kind of weird. I don't trust that animation here. But, I don't know. I guess this is a monster I've hunted a few times already, so... The nickname Pickle is kind of fun, but pickles themselves are very... I don't know, there's a lot interesting, like... There's different categories of pickle within, even just within, like, you know, dill pickle, like cucumber pickles, like dill pickles, various sweet pickles that I find less pleasant, not repellent, but just less, they make less sense to me. Oh, and it was a weird thing to learn that it's not uncommon for, like, what is it, Nashville chicken sandwiches? I didn't grow up in Nashville. But some places use, like, sweet pickles for that, which to me is very discordant. It could be the specific pickles used that are just not the right flavor sometimes, but like, acidic pickles, not necessarily dill pickles, but just acidic forward pickles work really well with spicy stuff. And oily, especially oily stuff. Because the acid helps with the sort of fatty, oily nightmare that can occur. But there's like fermented pickles. I had a cousin who made them. They look great. And it's actually specific to, like, fermented pickles, knowing the name, were similar to pickles that I think are often used in like shawarma, which presumably means that if that's a, you know, normalized type of pickle to use, then they probably just use fermented pickles. I don't know how they're made, beyond the fact that they're presumably fermented. Which is separate from brining them in salt water? I've never made pickles. I don't know if they're fermented in salty water or if it's salty vinegar, or if the vinegar is produced as a byproduct of the brining process and it acidifies if you let it sit long enough. It was probably talked about in like, when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade or something, but never in detail, because you can't teach detailed chemistry to a 3rd grader. Well, you could, but you generally don't in a public school. Because it would be a waste of time. You got more important science lessons, like the basics of igneous and metamorphic rocks was probably around that age. Why did I land on the other side this time? I did the exact same, not inputting forward, and I landed differently. It's inconsistent. Okay, I'm gonna get to here. Yep. I kinda don't like this song. But it's not even a song, that's why I don't like it. Like this theme. Because it is music, but it's mostly just sort of sound. Which is like the stuff that isn't the sort of danger noise is more subtle. So the danger stuff stands out more, but I don't really like it. It fits. It actually fits really well. I just think it's boring. I think it might be slightly too repetitive. Just like if I kept talking about pickles for 40 minutes. I need to eat. This is risky, because this takes a long time to eat. Yeah, deserved. I should be spamming roll in a different state. I should be spamming roll with my weapon out. I forgot how big these zones are. That zone goes so much further than I thought it did. I thought they said the effect of the drink had worn off, but it must have been natural recovery. I must have misread. Or if it did, the zone I was just in is actually warm because it's green. That's what it is, despite standing on snow. That was a questionable hitbox. Like, it should have hit, but I think visually I was on the side of the tail that it shouldn't have hit. But after the jump, I should have been on the side that the tail would have made it contact with, instead of on the side I was on. Oh, that's dangerous. Take this, greedy. Okay, back off. It's kind of interesting how it either steps forward or steps back for that. Like, it doesn't seem like it ever does it stationary. Which is interesting. Face me. Greedy. Terrible heal to go for, but it almost worked out. That one's pretty silly. The upwards launch on that attack is pretty wild. Pretty wild hit. Oh yeah, it's not meaningful to date when this is done, but the last, or most recent, which would be last at this point in time, zone has, I guess, been revealed for Wilds with a trailer? And yep, cold area, as I would have expected they would have. Ooh, interesting. Punched twice, or knocked down twice in a row. Like, I think that's what I was expecting would be the next zone that they would be likely to reveal. Because, I mean, they have to have a cold zone, right? It's in their legal contract. If they don't have a cold zone, they would get, I don't know, sued by people who pre-ordered assuming there would be a cold zone. Probably not, though. Obviously not. I actually wonder if the people would... I don't know why I ate this. I was supposed to reload. My brain is mixed up. But, I wonder if there's people who, if there wasn't a cold zone, would cancel their pre-orders or refund the game, etc. after learning there was no cold zone. Like, are there any people for whom that would be a deal breaker? Because they just like cold maps for some reason. Because I think, like, law of large numbers and whatnot, there's enough people, stuff is likely to happen. There would probably be one person for whom that would be on, or no, not probably. There could be some one person for whom, oh, there's no ice map? I'm never playing this game. Would be something they would say. Oh, I missed. I would not say that I think it's likely for that to have occurred ever, but just learning that one, yeah, again, the knock-up on that is very high up instead of sideways. Okay, that was lucky. Like any, you know, it would surprise me if there was actually somebody who felt that way. But only from like an emotional perspective. Because like, who would think that? But I would say from a logical perspective, people have weird opinions. In my opinion, people have weird opinions. Or I guess people have opinions that would, in my opinion, be weird opinions. And something like, oh, refund Monster Hunter Wilds because no cold zone? Not the weirdest opinion I could imagine. So it's actually pretty tame if someone did that. Or claimed that. Like, I don't think it's likely, again. I wouldn't be surprised if there was someone who, every game since the first, if it doesn't have Monoblos, I think Monoblos was only in the first, I don't actually know, I never played it. Like every game since the first, if there was no Monoblos, they didn't buy it. And so they've never played it again, and they've only played the first game on repeat since its release. And like, if they're having fun, then they're having fun. Okay, how am I not hitting their foot there? Oof. Forgot about the tail component of that. pretty safe. Never mind. He didn't keep going. He wasn't angry enough. What zones? They have a desert zone. They have a weird, creative cave zone. There's no really caves. Well, it's a cave, but the fact that it's a cave is not the standout design element. It's the lava and fire. Nersilla's gonna be in the spoilers. Nersilla shows up. There's a couple other cool ones that showed up. I think there's only one or two other reveals from that in terms of monsters that are showing up. Like Gormagala. And that's the only one I can remember. Maybe Gormagala coming back in plot. Well, no, actually. The main... Oop. I don't know. The main white wraith, whatever it's called, is a Magala adjacent, so it doesn't necessarily mean that... Or is it going to be somehow that the new Magala wing guy is going to be like the somehow some like third grouping that's like Shigaru Magala but blank, or ancient Shigaru Magala that never got that species in general before the frenzy virus ever afflicted it, and which caused them to lose their chains. There's one monster that was shown that really doesn't look fun though, because it flies, and I hate flying monsters. I think flying monsters in any game that isn't turn-based are awful. Like, honestly? Dark Souls flying is annoying. I think just about any 3D action game, flying is annoying. Like, isometric ARPGs, non-issue, pretty much. Because it's all set up where flying, you just hit it anyway. Most games that I know, at least. I'm doomed. I got lucky. If he'd gone for an attack there, I would have been probably doomed. Which, as a broader line, is sort of, if I'd gotten lucky, if it went for an attack that wouldn't hit me, and would let me put my weapon away, or let me roll away, that would have been lucky as well. So there's plenty of ways that I could have been lucky and not died. I just got the safest one, which was them just sitting there doing nothing. Going for the roll because of that exact reason there. Well, that reposition. I was actively staying down in case he would attack, but the reposition delaying the attack long enough that it would have hit me if it had gone for an attack right away. It was pretty rough. It wasn't actually a rough result, but the process could have gone way worse. I think the writing from the trailer felt kind of bad, but that's also, some of the lines might have more context that make them less cheesy. But a lot of the lines were incredibly cheesy. Again, some of it, like, I get the logic of emotions, or like, why there has to be a reason why this happened, but like, the logic is freak animal attacks do sometimes just happen. But then there's the emotion of, there has to be a reason, otherwise why'd this have to happen to me type of emotion can come into play. And obviously as the person involved, Oh no, don't do this to me. I want to get rid of the ice. Obviously you can't control the emotion. You can't necessarily control the emotion if it's you that it afflicts, so... It's a story component that always feels kind of annoying to me when the emotions of the character are incredibly illogical. Which, again, humans are illogical, so it's more realistic if the character's emotions are sometimes not founded in logic. Or, well, there are reactions based on their emotions and whatever. It did manage to make me hate playing a game enough that I quit like 80-90% of the way through because it was just getting very frustrating because I'm out of that's first aid med plus, not mega potion. Whoops. Oh, that's fine. I dodged that. But what Trails of Cold Steel 2, fairly, I'm gonna say, trope heavy game. The broader story of the world is very fun, but come on, why do you gotta do this? But the game itself, just none of the characters were appealing to me. And the main character was very, obviously emotions are emotions, makes sense. Just the emotions that were centered around the character being like, spoilers for anyone that cares, briefly. Like, one of the main villain characters basically blew themselves up, and then the main character felt really terrible that they couldn't save them, and it might be realistic, like, on the level of, like, not survivor guilt, but, like, that sort of illogical feeling, where the emotion is, it obviously doesn't make sense, and the person themselves can't control that. Or survivor guilt, not survivorship guilt. I might have said it wrong. But it was just very frustrating. And like, there's an even bigger spoiler that pertains to that story that's even more frustrating. And it just kept going, and it was not fun. The good thing about Monster Hunter is the story doesn't matter much. It's like, as long as the gameplay is good enough, that's all that matters to me. Whereas, you know, Trails series, JRPG, 90% of it is like reading text. If the story is frustrating, the entire game becomes frustrating. The gameplay's fun enough, but it's just not the focus most of the time. Like, it's not gameplay that you would play for the sake of the gameplay, in my opinion. It's gameplay that you play to get through the story, and the story was just frustrating, which was sad. And basically, getting back to cliche stuff like that is not my favorite. But at least Monster Hunter, the story could be absolutely the worst garbage I've ever read, and I'd be fine with that, because I could just skip it. What is up with this guy? He looked like he was running away again, but he didn't. I think I'm gonna choose to not waste food. I just wasted food. Waste a cold, hot drink. Though they are just free, basically. You just buy them and you're good. Yeah, I'm glad. Like, yeah, basically the story in the trailer seemed kind of the dialogue is more accurate than the story. Because the story in this game was non-existent, which was quite nice. Like, there was a bit of a story, and Other than the head of the boat being sad after failing to fight Volstrax? Or Volstrax doing so? I can't remember what it was exactly. But other than that, which wasn't even that bad, it's just sort of, yep, hunt these monsters. We gotta research. And maybe it has a focus on one kid, sort of, the story, but maybe that's just what they're putting in the trailers to draw in people that think that it would be that type of story. I don't know. I don't even, like, World had a story, sort of. Like Zora Magdaros and the final boss. It wasn't bad. Partner was annoying it a couple times, like fighting the final boss. They're at the base camp and then they are like, we did it! Because they never did anything. That specific one was pretty annoying. Other stuff was fine, relatively, but... like, if the story is on the level of Worlds, it'll be fine. It won't be terrible. It won't be great. It'll be fine. Okay, another monster. Okie dokie. I mean, there's probably gonna be Barryoth in... Oh, this is not gonna be fun. I should bring dung bombs. I should manage to not forget to bring dung bombs. And that will make this a lot better. Nice and chilly. I'm hoping that while it's good, what is it? Today would be the... around a day or two... Yes, a day or two. Till the open beta number 2, part 1. Because I guess they're doing it twice this time. For like 2 weekends, I guess. Sort of 2 weekends, considering the... I think it technically starts on like a Thursday in the North American and maybe European time zones. Where I'm not sure, I think it starts on a Friday by Japanese time, which is, you know, Capcom and all that. So it is a weekend access period. I'm assuming it's basically going to be the same place, but with basically 2 more monsters that can be hunted. Oh, great timing. Don't you dare roar at me. Leave. No one likes you. Barryoth number 2, get out of here. You smell. Leave. No one wants you here. It's just as awful as I expected to have 2 Barryoths in one area, though. It's just as terrible as I thought. Also, it took a very long time for it to leave. Okay, I'm focusing its left arm, leg, wing, first. I feel like arm is not technically correct. That was greedy. It was unfortunate, but it was greedy. Did that tail extend, or is that actually its length? Because I know Nargacuga, who is similar, has an extendy tail. So I really wouldn't be surprised if Barioth is equally garbage in that sense. I think Extendo Tail, as funny as it is garbage. On anything except for Gypceros. Because Gypceros, it makes sense because it's a rubbery monster with electricity and all that. So it actually fits really well. Oops, that's dumb. Hey, thank you, Barioth, not Basarios. You were very helpful there. Rude. What was that effect? Was it the food? Was it like Protector low or something, and it reduced the damage of that hit? Or maybe it reduced the flinching? I don't actually read food effects anymore because I just eat the same food every time. Oh, yep. Terrible luck on every single one of those attacks. Because it was perfectly timed for when I was finally weak and it was able to actually attack me, which is impressive. Like, it just has no chill. It's one of those very specific things that bugs me. Like Malzeno, Hazard Malzeno. They're fairly aggressive, and even the like super angry enraged phase where they just run at you forever. Even that, I much prefer to how Barioth and them are in this game. Because this one I think it's like, they have set combos that they follow, but they combo, instead of just being like, going for like an onslaught of attacks. So it kind of feels worse to me. I don't know if the combo thing is what makes it feel worse, but there's something about it that's a lot more annoying compared to even that phase of Malzeno. It's just the way they move, maybe? Where they just don't... It feels so much more aggressive, despite the fact that they're probably not meaningfully more aggressive. I thought it was going to target something on the ground there, so I got greedy. I don't have any examples from World though, so it could just be that everything in Rise, Sunbreak, even one of the hardest fights in the game, just is easier or less aggressive than a basic high rank Barioth in this game. Which, while technically possible, I'm a little doubtful. Because end of master rank versus just a monster in high rank. Because yeah, like, it could just be that it doesn't feel fair, like, not fair, but like, appropriate. Because this isn't an Elder Dragon, but it has like infinite stamina. It just keeps going, and it doesn't get tired. It does that attack 4 times in a row and doesn't stop because it's winded. Or maybe if Elder Dragons do the same thing, it feels more reasonable because it's an elder dragon. They are dangerous. A Barioth is just a big spiky cat. Which makes it feel ill-suited for having infinite stamina. That might be the bigger thing. It could just be the perception for me is why I kind of hate it. I get because yeah, like I don't expect a monster like this to have a bottomless, it's not bottomless because it eventually gets tired, but a near obnoxiously big stamina pool. Which makes it stand out more. Because like it could also be Barioth is balanced around the fact that if you break its spikes, it slides and you get more openings. So to compensate for that, they have to make it super annoying when you don't have the arms broken. Which then just makes the start of every fight with the Barioth annoying to me. Because they're just dashing around constantly. Less than a Diablos, at least. Because Diablos loves to run. It's prepping for a marathon. I'm glad I brought the dung bombs, though. I think this would have been unplayable without dung bombs. It would have been worse than the double hazard Furious Rajang in Sunbreak in an arena. It would have been way worse than that. Because at least that one, it's sort of, you see them chip away at each other. You see the damage and you get occasional wyvern rides, which like maybe just once each, but you actually felt the impact of them hitting each other while trying to kill you. I mean, that's not the best wake-up attack, that's for sure. Is it dead? Nope. Now it is. I wonder how these quests are gonna go. Like, with how open quests will be in Wilds, where you can stay on the ground if you kill something, are they gonna have multi-monster quests? Or are they gonna have like quests that are like kill 5 of this monster or something? Maybe not 5, but like that maybe you can pick up and drop here and there or whatever. I don't think the beta stuff will ever give a good idea for that, or a good image. Where are you, Barioth? I don't like you. Barioth, please. I just want to hunt you so that you can leave this world forever and never come back. You won't even be made into armor. Where is he? He's not in one of these 3. That's weird. He could have just jumped over here, though. He did. Because Barioth doesn't want to be made into boots. Well, good for them. They won't be, because their parts are not that valuable. Okay, should mount on a hit or two. Yep. Unlucky amount of stamina though. I probably should have held back for the hit or two and then actually had more stamina because that was very close. Let's focus its right arm this time. Leg. Wing. Whatever. It's weird. Actually, the tail's pretty funny. I don't know why I healed there. Makes me think of Ray Dow. Which hadn't crossed my mind until now. It's probably just, you know, a simple design to go for, like a earwigs, prongs, whatever they're called. But having seen the, you know, clip in the Iceland trailer, whatever they call the icy area, having seen Ray Dow in that, it's on my mind. Oh, come on. Unlucky. Unlucky. But I rolled under, so I'm fine. Yeah, having seen that recently, sort of, it is noticeable that it is actually quite similar, I think. It moved quite quickly to get into a position to charge me there. Honestly, I'll be glad to have hot and cold drinks back, which I think they are. Might be misremembering again, but I think they're valuable. Come over here. Little kitty cat. I complain a lot, but I really am not a fan of the, like, 90-degree slide turn, where they, like, facing you and then they move 90 degrees around you, because it feels too smooth for how they reach there in one movement. Like, it's... I don't know, I think it'd be better if it was less smooth. Same, like, time to travel, but a little bit clunkier. Not clunky animation, but like less of a smooth landing and more of a they jump towards somewhere and then have to like dig their arm into the ground to pivot instead of pivoting in the air and then stopping their movement once they reach their destination. That's not what I wanted to do, but it is something I needed to do, so it's fine. I wanted to eat. And this is not specific about Barryoth. Just many monsters do that sort of stuff. Just Barryoth, the one that stands out. think, like, it's not beefy enough. Like, these are big monsters moving. There should be more oomph. Like they have to stop their movement. They have to turn instead of being like float like a bee. Well, float like a butterfly, but bees float just as effectively as butterflies. If not more so, just less gracefully. Just a bit more chunk to them moving around for, like, positioning. Yeah, I was doing, I messed up there. That was questionable. Like, did I jump off of the ice attack? If not, then the hitbox on its wings is bad or something? Whatever. Okay. And I didn't get... Oh, my weapon is away because I was stunned. That's good. Like, those movements, they move super fast and then come to a stop instantly. But they don't, like, dig into the ground to stop most of the time. There's, like, a few monsters where they run and then they slide and stuff. And I just think more of that, even if it, you know, consumes the exact same amount of time for the monsters, it doesn't serve as more of an opening. Just more animations illustrating the fact that these monsters are incredibly large and heavy. And it wouldn't be completely trivial like that to come to a complete stop and then push off in a 90-degree direction from where they were moving just moments before. Like, dash one way, instantly dash like 90 degrees. Just doesn't really work that well. Without at least having some, like, here is the animal pushing into the ground. Not an animal's monster, but monsters are animals probably. I just think it's I don't know if I never paid attention to it in more recent games. Maybe it, like, that is something that has been improved. It's been a little while. But it's something that I'll probably end up paying more attention to in the future, having noticed it in this game. My guess is it's been improved, given that, I don't know, I never noticed it until playing this game. And this game's further back, so it could be present here and not present in later installments. I kind of think the arm spikes are a little... like, I feel I did a pretty good job of focusing on the arm spikes on the left wing, but I didn't break it before it died. Like, it's lower HP because of everything, but the art HP scales with the total HP. So it feels like it takes too long to break relative to it all. It'd be fun to slide down a snowy slope. Go for like a sled or a what's the other word? Sled or snowboard or ski, but took a while, as I expected, so I don't really have time for anymore, but there's only one left, I guess. Because there's no way this... I mean, there's no urgent quest for another higher tier because this is the last tier, but this won't unlock more quests, probably. I do have a couple village delivery quests that I haven't bothered with. So those could potentially unlock quests that would unlock quests, and I'll be content. One more here and then it's Prowler. It's been a while since I've done Prowler. I don't really like Prowler. But I'm almost done with what to me will be the bare minimum. Then I have another 3 weeks to do, probably just focus on hub key quests to at least get to the urgents and stuff, and the noteworthy quests that are in high rank instead of, and not worry about master rank right away. Because if I don't get to master rank, in theory, it would be easier to return and start master rank from 0, where it's presumably going to reintroduce like, ooh, a master rank Velocidrome, Velociprey, etc. It'll be easier to get back into that than to get back into like any number of quests down past that point. But that's it for today. So, have a nice day. Bye-bye.